Next, self-esteem. Self-image, self-esteem. So image is how I see myself. Esteem is how I value myself or how I feel about myself. And I want to put both of them down because they're important. How I feel about myself. Okay, how do I feel about myself? Do I like me? Am I glad I'm me? Next is how I value myself. And I just wanted to clarify, there's some confusion culturally speaking, and I have some strong opinions on this. So first, I think I'm going to talk about the second one, how I value myself. How I value myself compared to what is the question. In our culture, in North American culture, it seems to be that we're supposed to think of ourselves as better than everybody else. And you might say, no, that's not true, James. Well, check the media, check the focus of our commercials, and the focus of a lot of our conversations is I want to outdo, I'm unique and I'm separate and I'm above and I'm this. And there's a lot of individualism, a lot of narcissistic I am. And so some superiority so that I can feel better about myself. All you have to do is think higher about yourself and treat yourself better, and then everything's going to go well. And sometimes I would say that that's not only excessive but inaccurate and inappropriate. What we could do is have a healthier universal perception of value. There was a time in the world that most people shared a very common thought, and the common thought was we're all equally and infinitely valuable. No one is more valuable than anyone else. A person who stands in front of a microphone, in front of a camera with a microphone is no more valuable than the person sitting behind or standing behind the camera with the microphone. The person who edits the video is no more important than the person that writes the video. We're all just folks doing our thing, doing what we do, providing to the planet the gifts and abilities, unique talents that we have to contribute. And so I don't have to value myself as higher than somebody else, nor do I have to see myself as less than somebody else. I can actually say we're all universally valuable, that I am equally and infinitely valuable, and that just settles that argument. I personally think that's a healthy way of looking at it. I'll leave that for your own personal consideration. Hello and welcome. My name is James McNeil. I'm doing a little insert to my video entitled Self-Image, Self-Esteem. There was a connection I did not make, and I apologize. So we're going to just shove this inside of that video. It'll be a little bit of a jerky jump in, jump out, so I apologize for that. What I wanted to add in the video, I've probably just finished talking about the fact that we are all equally and infinitely valuable as individuals. I think that's very healthy. As it relates to mixed martial arts, I want to make the connection. I apologize. I talked about it without making this connection. As a fighter, what's essential for us to realize, if you're a mixed martial arts competitor, you may or may not buy into my philosophy of we're equally and infinitely valuable as individuals, therefore as fighters. But if you do buy into it and you say, okay, but what does that mean to me as a fighter? Am I supposed to see them as the same as me or better than me or less than me? I think that's an excellent line of thought. Here's my perception. My perception is I may not be more valuable than as a human being, but as a fighter, I want to believe that I've put in more effort, that I've developed my skills, that my training camp has helped me, that I have pushed my knowledge and my skills, that I have pushed my cardio and my strength and conditioning, my flexibility, that I'm going to do an intelligent weight cut, I'm going to have a better game plan, I'm going to raise myself to a higher emotional state when we're in the cage. And so because of all these things, I believe I should be able to walk away with the win. I want to believe that. But on the other hand, I never want to lose sight of the fact that we are equally and infinitely valuable. Not only may I be a better fighter yesterday, but the question is, am I going to be a better fighter tonight? And so the value of a human being is separate from, will I be a better fighter tonight? And so I think it's healthy to say, it's not that I'm a better fighter, although I want to know that to be true. I also want to have the healthy respect for, I may be a better fighter on Thursday, but I better be a better fighter on Saturday. And so it's not about who you are and how you are, it's about how you behave that night. Am I going to be a better fighter that night? So I think it's a healthy thing to say we're all equally and infinitely valuable. They're not a person better than me or less than me. As a fighter, I want to believe myself to be more able to win this fight, and then I want to make sure that I'm ready to perform at that level so that I don't say, I'm going to win just because of who I am. I'm so good, I'm just going to walk out there and they're going to fall down because I'm me. And that kind of arrogance gets people in a lot of trouble. So I think a healthy self-esteem is a much better, safer idea to say the question is not the value of the person, the question is who's going to perform better on that night, and I intend to be that person. So hopefully that helps, the connection between self-esteem, self-image, and I think it's a much healthier, safer, long-term answer to how do I look at myself as it relates to other people. Hopefully that helps. Back to the video. Next, how do I feel about myself? You may know, and I think it's safe to say that we're all our worst judge, and so we judge ourselves. And how do we judge ourselves? Well, we judge ourselves based on values and expectations, partially to do with our self-image, but we do judge ourselves as far as character and value. If I see myself as a kind person, and I don't act kindly, then I become uncomfortable with myself. I'm not happy, and so I just wanted you to know that how I feel about myself, my self-esteem as it relates to how I feel about myself, continues to go up and down based on my behavior. One of the greatest things I can encourage you to do is simply say, I will give myself a command and I will obey it. I will say words and I will live up to them. The gap between vision and reality shrinks as I continue to say I'm going to do something, then I do it. Then I say I'm going to do that, and I do that. And so rather than extending it too far and then missing the target, once I miss a target, I judge myself for having quote unquote failed, and then I feel less about myself, therefore decreasing my capacity to set and achieve meaningful objectives. So it's important to say I say something and then I do it. I commit to something and I accomplish it. And inch by inch and day by day, continue to live up to my own expectations and the words that are coming out of my mouth, the goals that I set for myself. I don't set them so high that I miss them and then go down emotionally. I rather want to hit, stretch, constantly be on the improvement side and on the growth side. So there you go. That's a little bit on self-image and self-esteem. We can watch that in a fighter. We can see how a fighter feels about themselves. One of the greatest secrets to managing this well is get around the right people. That's why I'm such a big fan of good, healthy camps. Greg Jackson's camp is probably the camp I most respect right now. And it's because it seems to be a genuine, respectful, authentic culture. Almost the entire world of mixed martial arts is. That's why I'm such a big fan. Authentic and respectful. But Greg Jackson's gym just seems to have taken it to another level of family. And I think that's really healthy. We build our self-esteem, our self-image, and we can grow together in a healthy environment. I really encourage it strongly. It's one of those foundational pillars that makes a fighter strong in the moment in the high-speed kinetic chess called mixed martial arts. When they're under the gun and fists are flying, they actually have a strength and a wellness within them that gives them the capacity to focus on the moment rather than on anything that could be distracting. So very important stuff, self-image, self-esteem. I hope this helps. Again, my name is James McNeil, and you are at mentalmma.com, your information source for mixed martial arts. It is my honor to serve. Talk to you soon.